But yeah, and like I said, I'm not knocking her or anything. You know, I'm happy for it. But here's where I get tired of like quote unquote rich people trying to tell you how you can save your way to being wealthy. So this bitch,
That's why I hate those Business Insider articles. Is every week is or probably every day there's some Business Insider article about this person paid off all their student loans and such, and now
but they
they're
fail
making
to
such and such.
mention
Yeah, and but it's not until you read the article you find, but their parents gave
X
them.
amount of money. So here's the thing
Yeah,
with this story. So she's like 28. She lives in New York City. She retired with like 2 point something million saved up, right? That and she was like, yeah, I retired early, blah blah blah. But what it fails, but when you read the article, and I didn't read all of it. I've read most of it. I will say that I did go back and read it after the fact. But reading through the comments, people are just saying, yeah, it's easy to do that when you're making a lot of money.
exactly.
And then one person, it was funny. It's like,
And if you live in New York City, that means you already probably unless you like one of those struggle folks in New York that's like living with
no, no, no,
a
no, no,
bunch of
no,
people.
no, they're not struggle. But
Yeah,
well, the way she describes, she's not struggle.
because
But
most of the struggle people are getting pushed out of the city. Like
exactly,
they even
upstate New
moving
York
to
or
upstate or across the river to New Jersey.
it was just funny because it was like TLDR for those who don't know that's too long. Didn't read. I have a 6 figure salary. However, she didn't have a regular 6 figure salary. She was in the mid 6 figures. So that means she was making roughly between 400 and $700,000 a year.
Which you need to live comfortably in New York City anyway.
Exactly. And the crazy thing is, when you read the article, she says, I graduated college a year early. Well, of course they start with that. Somehow, rich dad, poor dad always makes its way into these realms, which the guy's a fraud anyway.
Oh, they talked about Robert Kiyosaki.
No, she says she read the book Rich Dad Poor
I
Dad at
read it too.
12.
It was bullshit. And it read like just about every other like financial guru that I've read in the past. What was it? The 7 highly effective habits of successful people. I've read that. The Millionaire Next Door, which is probably the best one out of all of them I read. Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich.
Part
the,
two.
the black version.
There's a black version.
Yeah, so there's the original one by I think Napoleon Hill, which is like a classic self help financial guru book, probably one of the first ones. And then there was a one written by this black guy I think named Richard Kimbrough or something like that. And he was like, uh, Think and Grow Rich, a black choice. I liked his a little bit better because the original one was telling people, although it was written like I guess like in the 50s or 60s, it was telling people you don't need to go to college, you just need to learn like a trade and work hard and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, this is a complete bullshit. I said
Yeah,
that might have flew back in the 50s, but that's not flying in
now.
like the 90s and 2000s and it
Well,
like. But
side
the
note.
Think and Grow Rich, at least he told black people go to college, so
Yeah.
he did have that much going.
I mean, side note, because ASAP Science, shout out to them. I always like their stuff. They did a video on the whole idea of does hard work actually pay off, like work?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, and then we came to the conclusion, not really. Like,
Because a lot of poor people
work
hard.
hard.
They work 2, 3, 4 jobs, so they're working hard. It's just they're working hard for low wage jobs. So
And they,
it's work smarter, not harder.
exactly. But moving back onto the article, so shout out, the young lady. She graduated college early, so she's 21. She found a job that I think it's in the article. It says she was making $60,000 a year starting, but at the end of the year, she got a bonus check with nearly the same amount as her salary. So basically, and all in all, you're not making $60,000 a year, quote unquote. You're making 110. You're just getting a lump sum of it at the end of the year. So if you combine that with the fact she's saying, no, I got raises at my time there. So basically, whatever your salary is that year, if you're just doubling up, pretty much. So if you're making 60, you're not really making 60. You're making like 110, maybe 120, closer to 120. The next year, if you get so I broke down the math. So she's from, let's say, from the ages of 21 to 28, right? Mind you, she's married. So
No.
she's
So-
also married. And
So
she
that's
has a
that's
baby.
just her. That's just her income.
We're just calculating her income. This is what she said she did. So you're making, so whatever salary you make, you just double it. That's what you're making for the year. So even if you broke it down with $10,000 increments for every year, that's 7 years. That means by the time you retired, you were making your base salary was 130,000, but since you get a bonus that's practically the same salary or close to it, you're basically making 2 times that. So your end salary was $260,000 a year over the course of 7 years. So, and again, of course, she talked about spending, changing their spending habits, not living, in high-rise apartments. That's fine. It's easy, but it's easy to do that when you're making $120,000 a year. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's the part that infuriates me, because I know I'm in a high paying field, and when people say, well, yeah, you can get rid, like, no, it doesn't work that way. One, I don't get bonuses equating to my salary. Like, if I was getting a bonus check every year that was close to my salary, of course I can save a whole bunch of money. I can live off my regular base pay, and then when I get my bonus check, I can just save it. And I think that's what infuriates me more, because
most of those articles are disingenuous. That's why I don't.
And it's exactly. And then the crazy thing is, what made me mad is boomers. So boomers on one hand will say save your money to get rich, and then when a millennial or somebody does something like this, they get mad about it.
Say they're entitled.
Right. And I'm like, I'm not knocking her for what she did.
I at this point, I don't even listen to people over the age of like
45, 55.
Like over 55 or whatever, because like the boomers are just sociopathic as far as I'm concerned. Like, some of them make sense, but the majority of them are just sociopathic, because the stuff they say is just incoherent at sometimes. Like, you can't have it both ways. Like, you criticize the younger generations for not doing well, and then you criticize them for doing well. You can't have it both ways. So
it's not even that. Well, it's that, but I'm just more so mad at this. I just disdain the idea that you can save your way to being wealthy, because you can only save the money. Savings are you can't save money that you have to spend to live.
Exactly.
And that's why I hear people say, well, you give a poor man $600, it's gone. And then we're like, well, if you got to pay rent, health insurance, car payment, all these other things, and that's all the money you have, of course it's going to be gone. A rich person, mommy and daddy, 9 times out of 10, mommy and daddy has extra money, so they don't have to use their money, because mommy and daddy's footing the bill for everything, or most of the things. It's just a weird time, and honestly, with the high rise in gas prices and food and all that, it's exposing a lot of shit. Like, it was just one shit. I know this is a side note, but she was basically offering, like, look, I got kids, things are getting high. Here's the deal.
Uh-oh.
You can move in, you can hit and all that, but I just need help with bills. That's what she posted online. That's her proposition.
Damn.
And shout out to the brother Kevin saying, once again, already I'm pretty sure there were other people who predicted it, but he's the only one that I know of that I heard say it.
I wish there was a heaven, just so he can be looking down like,
I told you. They can just shake his head. I told you. He was right. Like, when we're going to start resorting back to all dating is prostitution anyway, but it's going to be blatant now. It's going to be blatant. Like, California has relaxed the laws for prostitutes.
He did predict this. I mean, because he follows the trends. He follows the statistical trends that the most educated group tends to not be able to do. Like, they're the most educated group, but somehow they're still statistically illiterate. And
it's crazy. And I do disagree that you can still lock up Johns, but not the prostitute. Like, no, if you're gonna make it like it doesn't make sense. If you're gonna say, well, we're going to criminalize prostitution, we're not going to arrest the prostitute, but we're still going to prosecute the John, it doesn't encourage the John to go see the prostitute because it just, the prostitute can easily just say anything, and Boom. So you're not doing a service to either one. Just make it legal. But shout out to Kevin Samuels because again, this was all predicted. Women can't get by on their own. Men, we can live by ourselves, and we're fine with that because most of us don't have children.
Winter is coming.
It's here. It's not even coming. It's here.
That's what she said.
Winter is already here. The fact that you have women openly and publicly posting online propositions, it already shows you where we're at. Mm. And it's only going to get worse.
Subway is hiring. Subway is hiring, guys. Sandwiches are good. Subway is hiring.
They working at Subway and it's still not enough.
Twerking in Subway. Eat fresh.
This is wild. And like I said, I mean, I'm just tying that into this young lady, not everybody's going to be able to make this amount of money. Like, it's just not going to be, it's not sustainable. Especially, since everybody's like jumping over to my side of the career field, and most of them don't have the skills or leaving like non-related sectors to come over here, because the stability, quote unquote, that showing itself with COVID, days are going to change. Like, it's going to get bad. Like, unless you, in my field anyway, unless you like doing some government stuff or contract work, maybe some private sector stuff, but it's going to get bad. Like, especially when Facebook is, no, not even that. Yeah, unless you're doing like government stuff.
Man, you don't want to deal with Mark Zuckerberg. He got katanas chasing his employees and shit now.
Exactly. Not even that.
Did you see that article?
I didn't see that. I saw a picture of it, but they did say like, yo,
he had a legit samurai sword.
So when he gets an attitude, he really chases people with a katana?
I don't know if it was a joke or I need to read the article myself because I don't want to mislead people, but apparently he did actually have a samurai sword and brandished it to a employee. I don't know if it was in a joking way or he was mad. But I mean, we know that he has a wedgie on his brain, so.
Nah. Yeah. That is a declaration of war when you pull
I mean, it's his company, so.
I mean, that's fine.
Like I said, if you work for Tard, then.
What do you expect?
Yeah.
But the fact that Facebook has laid off I think it was 20. I want to say 27 to 30 people.
Hey, he was telling people. He said I'm going to be aggressive and making sure that I'm asking you guys for more than what you can handle because some of you are going to have to be. Some of you going to have to go because he wants to streamline the company because of the profits have been slowing
and that's the thing. And you know what? Shout out to Dr. T. Sahan Johnson because they were talking on his channel too about the that's where I heard about the lady that was made the proposition. And they were talking about it on there how when you start seeing profit companies are losing money, and you had a lot of people. And they were talking about how you had women who you would never thought, try to be sugar babies now. Like, I mean, soccer moms trying to be sugar babies.
I mean, I'm not surprised when you had professors. Remember we talked about this like years and years ago. Like when you got because you got a lot of universities aren't offering tenured positions anymore. So a lot of the people that teach now are just adjunct professors, which is basically like a part-time teacher.
You're a substitute.
And yeah, well, no, I mean, so you actually teach the course, but there's you're not tenured, so you're not getting benefits. Often to make ends meet, you gotta like teach a lot of courses, a lot of coursework, more than what professors did in the past. And even what teachers do now, because a lot of them spend most of their time doing research. Like universities pay them more to do research and publish articles and stuff like that than to actually teach. And so a lot of that falls on like TAs and the adjunct professors. And you got adjunct professors who work at multiple universities just to make ends meet. And some of them can't even do that. So they're sleeping in their car, and like you got female professors that's like strippers or even selling sex on the side just to get. When I heard that, I'm like, damn, the thought of a think you got your.
Imagine Bill Nye as going around like as a male stripper. Like
show you this chemistry.
Or Neil deGrasse Tyson having to go around.
How you like this covalent bonding? Put the C in the O.
But I mean, that's just where it's going. I mean, like women, and the crazy thing is, you definitely gonna have women who are used to making six figures, who can't support their lifestyles no more. And on Dr. T's Han's channel when they were talking about he also I forgot the other guy's name. I don't want to say I want to say BGS, but I could be wrong. But he even talked about be careful with them because they'll wind up somehow they wind up pregnant, and next thing you know,
gotcha, bitch.
Yeah, pretty much like
you better drop some hot sauce in that condom. do like Drizzy. They don't call him Drizzy for nothing.
Like, as well, like they may have the sugar baby whatever arrangement, but they're used to making six figures, and they expect you to keep up that lifestyle. They become pregnant. So, fellas, our time is here. All my fellow nerds, those of us who were in the comic books and anime when we were younger, but now making great money as adults because of the fields we chose and the success we were driven to, it's our time to shine. But be warned that these scallywags will trap you. So wrap it up and put hot sauce in it when you're done.
Don't end up like Willie Lump Lump. Wrap two of them bitches on tight.
Tight.
Like what he said on Menace Society? He said I put on two condoms. He said I ain't ended up like Willie Lump Lump. He said what happened to Willie Lump Lump? You're like
but all jokes aside, like it's getting things about to start getting real tight around here, man, and things about to start changing for the average man, because the average man isn't complaining about finances like women are. Like, we're comfortable.
The average man has dealt with disappointment and hardship. It's part of being the average man. So, and guys, try to make it and stuff, but don't kill yourself to do it. Another lesson from Kevin. I mean, we learned that now that he died of hypertension. So follow his advice, but don't follow exactly what he did, because he didn't let himself rest. You gotta let yourself rest. Don't kill yourself drinking Red Bulls and talking to these hood boogers all day long, stressing you out.
Working 60 hours, 80 hours a week. Well,
working 60, 80 hours a week is fine when you're in your 20s, early 30s.
When you're healthy.
And you're healthy. Once you're in your 40s and 50s, pushing 60, 80 hours a week is not advisable. It's really not. Even if you're behind, yeah.
Actually, I don't even say that. It doesn't even matter if you're behind. Because here's the thing. You can still turn things around. Like, we're living in an age now where a lot of times, most of us, millennials anyway, we're not figuring things out until we're 25, 30, 35 years old, because it's a lot. Like, most of us have, if we try to go to college, it's uber expensive.
Society has put a delayed onset on adulthood anyway, so it's like you gotta deal with the cards you're dealt.
Exactly. So, brothers, those of us, I'm 29, so those around my age range, the 90s babies,
avoid knocking any women up.
That's what I was my first advice. Don't get nobody pregnant.
I've had women ask me when I was in my 30s, like, how do you not have a kid? Condoms, bitch. Like, the fuck? Like, I couldn't believe that was a serious question, but she was like, she was sincere.
Did I ever tell you the story of how somebody assumed I had a kid? Oh, so I'll tell you here. So I was 19, right? And I think this was my first time voting, because I think it was like during Obama's election or whatever. And I'm walking, to my polling office, and a lady asked, "Hey, do you want a sticker?" I said, "No, I'm good." She's like, "Well, what about for your son?" I looked at her like she was crazy. It was an older lady, so I didn't say nothing rude, but I looked at her like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I don't have no kids." And she was like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Is this in Baltimore?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
That's why.
Guys, if you're Baltimore, I don't know. I might have to do a separate video just talking about Baltimore one day.
I mean, I was 19. Today. I'm like, you assumed I had a kid? Ew, no. But that's my point. Like, at this point, just to tie it all in with the original point of the woman saving up that much money and all that. That's rare. Like it's rare that anybody's going to make that much money ever. You know, it's just rare. And what we're seeing now is just a culture of the entertainment.
Being in the top 10, the top 5% of income earners should just let you know off the top that that's not the norm. Like
it's not. Know. But I guess I think my issue is that area puts so much emphasis on trying to get that
because there's a hustle culture. So now everyone thinks if you're not making this much or X much, then
you're not working hard enough.
Yeah.
And to that I say fuck that. Like real talk, because I don't have any kids. I don't need to work that hard. Like literally, I don't spend that much money or really care to that I need to work myself that hard to make that amount of money.
If it wasn't for guys pursuing women, most of us wouldn't even give a shit. Like money to eat, play video games, watch Marvel movies, and
like just to do the things we like to do. Like of course there's sex, but
I'm saying if you just remove pursuing women, sex, and all of that, guys won't give a fuck about having these high incomes on doing this and doing that for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, no. We wouldn't. Like I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's a woman. Funny enough, and it was like, bro, if we didn't care for our ambitions, we really wouldn't be doing like working as hard as we are. Like, and sometimes it is. In which it's like it was funny because she's like, I hate that we're being this ambitious, being this ambitious in life because it does come with disappointments. It comes with a lot of hard work. But honestly, like for me anyway, I don't do what I do for the whole idea of I want to provide for my family because I don't have kids, so I'm not care about providing for nobody. I do it because I like nice things and I want to travel, and those things cost money. It costs money to travel, and it costs money to have Benzes and other nice things. So I had to make a lot of money to afford that. But honestly, at this point, the Benzes I don't really care about no more. For me, it's the traveling part. I want someone to do that. Bless you.
Thank you.
But honestly, brothers, make your money, but enjoy your life. That's my best advice. Enjoy your life. Do things that make you happy. Because pussies was here before you were born. It's gonna be here after you die, and as things keep going this trajectory, it's only gonna be easier for you to get. And honestly,
the stock price of the vagina is going down.
It's going way down. Actually,
it's gonna flood the market.
Actually, I would argue it's more so a bill and a liability.
Yeah.
In the long run. It's just another bill and a liability. Mm-hmm. Yeah, your channel gonna get demonetized because.
Well, I don't get I'm not even monetized yet, folks. But hey Google, what's up? I know I gotta get the subscribers up, y'all. I only have one subscriber, so let's get the subscribers up, and maybe I'll get monetized and see a little bit more fancier editing and stuff going on. I got some people in the works, but I'm not paying them if I'm not getting paid. So we'll see. Well, anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. Thanks for listening to our ranting, and be on the lookout for some more interviews, including maybe with Mrs. Contrarian. I have her on record saying she's gonna appear on video, so we'll see about that. All right.